You know, when I was young, I brought up in a joss paper shop. I play with joss paper as a child, you know, like people play with like Monopoly money. My toy cashier is full of hell notes. Yeah, hell notes, hell coins. I even bring it home. Yeah, I bring it home, then, you know, I'm so comfortable with it already. But I definitely do get scared when I like look at some pictures, things like that. But even when, you know, parents, they will bring their kids to Haw Par Villa and tell them that, oh, you know, if you do this, this is going to happen to you, then they get scared. But to me, I'm already so amazed by it already. I'm just like, oh my god, you know, there's so many colors, you know, things like that. So actually, I developed a love for horror films, things like that, from a very young age.
I really don't feel good like this.
Is anyone here? What did you find?
You are listening to Supernatural Confessions.
So hi, my name is Wel Wei. I'm 26 this year, and this temple is actually run by my family. And this temple is actually built by my dad. He's Master Nam. He's one of the more famous or powerful Taoist masters. And our temple has been here for about almost up to 20 years. For me, one of my more important purposes is that I want to educate the young generation people, you know, how to carry on the Taoist traditions, what are the new things happening, and how can we modernize it in a way that it can keep up with the modern times, and then the young people will get curious and want to learn more about the culture. 7 months for me personally, it's a very exciting period. You know, I feel it's like a festival. You know, how would people describe it as a, you know, some people will get very intimidated or scared, but to me 7 months is like Halloween. It's just celebrated in a different way. Yeah, and other than, you know, like all the stories with skeptics and things like that, you know, some people would have a big meaning with 7 months. They will say, oh, you know, 7 months is when, you know, my ancestors will come to visit, you know, so I have to conduct the prayer and things like that. So it makes people like talk about stories or remember about their loved ones. I would always tell people, you know, it feels like, oh, the place is very crowded. You know, like there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of activities. To me, it's like an excitement. It's like a new year. You know, leading up to Chinese New Year, there'll be a lot of things happening. So I feel exactly like that.
So very run out.
Yeah, very run out. Yeah, it just feels like it's a party, you know. And a lot of people always they love to ask, you know, what should you do or should you not do during 7 months. But I feel like what you should not do it all the time, not just 7 months. You know. And when people, you know, they think about, oh, you know, ghosts or spiritual stuff, it's so exciting, you know. And then they will ask, oh, you know, are you scared of your encounters? You know, you've done all this, you know, be part of all these rituals and things like that. Are you scared that, you know, one day they'll just come and look for you? But to me, I always tell them that actually, even people or humans can be scarier than like ghosts or spirits. You know, to me, I see them the same. You know, sometimes they come to you because, you know, they have a need, they're looking for something, or, you know, they just need something to be done. You know, sometimes they come with like purpose or messages or trying to connect back to their loved ones. But of course, I did get scared initially when I was I think when I was around 13 or 14, I had really bad nightmares for 2 years straight, every single night. When we used to sell traditional joss paper, I always hear stories of my older clients that would tell me that, oh, 7 months is not like before already. Initially, 7 months is when they would pray, it's like big festivals, things like that, and then the kids will go home by 7 p.m. The streets are filled with joss paper. Every single person is burning outside their door. But then they will notice that as years goes by, they will say that, oh, you know, now there's lesser and lesser people praying, burning, and, you know, if the person that's carrying the tradition is older and then they didn't carry forward to the young generation, then they will just, you know, it will just sort of die off. But for a lot of things like the don't step the ashes and, you know, don't take the fruits, all that, I feel like a lot of them is not only like parents tell you or grandparents tell you, it can be seen in many movies, especially the Singapore local films. They always show, you know, you take like the orange things and then they'll come and hunt you, then, you know, something bad is going to happen to you, or, you know, don't step the ashes, like the movie The Maid, everyone was so scared to step the ashes. Then they say how to avoid, ashes are everywhere, you know, you walk everywhere, the floor is all that, right? So I tell them that, you know, just when you walk, just say, oh, you know, like you don't meant to offend them, you know, you just You're just walking past, you just so happen to be there, things like that. Then if you do accidentally kick or step, you didn't see until, or you're riding a bicycle, you accidentally bang until, just put it back, then just apologize. Yeah, then if they still feel uncomfortable or they are not sure, then they can always tell them, oh you can just ask me, or let me know, then I'll see what can we do to help you. Yeah.
There's a group in Singapore that picks up all these prayer items and they don't waste it. They pack it up and they consume it.
Yeah.
Is it safe to do it, or is there a way to do it safely?
For me, even just here, we always do a lot of offerings and prayers, not only to, deities or ancestors, things like that. And after we pray already, we can actually take the food to eat. What we call it's been blessed already.
Oh, blessed already, not
yeah, it's been blessed already. Yeah. So normally all these kind, right, when people say they take, right, is that they don't take during the process of the prayer. Maybe after that, it will say, oh, maybe they can wait like a couple of hours, or then they take. But even when you pray ancestors, things like that, right, they actually, after, like, for example, if I pray my ancestors, let's say I pray like food, chicken rice, that kind, right, after pray, I'll take and eat. But what my mom always tell me is, for example, I pray to my akong, I will say, oh, it's akong buy for me one. Or it's like, in Chinese we say, akong 请我吃的. Yeah, so when I eat already, I'll just think of my grandfather, even though I've never met him before. Yeah. But if we have some praying food, for example, we pray the hu ye, the white tiger, right? Every time we pray like the egg tofu, the meat, that kind, right? We always say after you pray already, you cannot take back. Yeah, so there's a difference. Actually, the deity that you see here, the green-faced god, a lot of people will say that they have not seen a green-faced god. It's always the white one. So actually, I always tell them that, if you are unsure, if you go to, Haw Villa, things like that, with all the different stages, they're actually different, like, judge and the different deities. So for me, I feel like, for my understanding, for my upbringing and things like that, they are also in charge on part of hell. So whenever they think of, 7 months, things like that, hell gates open, they will straight away think of, oh yeah, this deity I see before, every time 7 months, they will see him on the poster. Yeah. They say that, he's like the judge. Or a lot of people will hear stories about, if they are like at a hospital and they see people like, going to pass, and then they will have a vision of them, like coming to bring them along with like the cow head and the horse head with the body. Stories about 7 months. I guess I would have one story, is that 7 months is a very famous period for people to go ghost hunting. And even though 7 months can appear as a fear factor, right, there are people that are very interested in it. So sometimes, when they go like ghost hunting, they are not prepared. They didn't, respect things like that. So sometimes people will say, how come they just go, for example, Old Changi Hospital, right? How come they go there, right? They straight away, something will follow them. Then I always tell them that, just imagine it this way, like you are sitting in a house, then people just suddenly come in, that kind, then how you will feel. Then they will say, okay, no wonder. So I actually had one group of people, like one of them called me. So they asked me, are you at the temple? Like, something happened, we need you to help us. So I said, okay. Then when they came by the temple, it was just one group of guys. And they're all very young, so normally when I see their faces, I know what is their purpose that they are here. So they told me that the group of them actually went there to, just have a paranormal experience. Because some people, they have not experienced it before, so they're actually very curious. How is it like, is it like the movies, things like that. So actually one of them told me that one of the guys, they went back home and he heard very heavy footsteps behind him. And then his door was slamming. There was this lady screaming at him, and he was so terrified that he didn't sleep the whole night. Yeah, and then only he can experience it. His whole family members didn't see or hear anything. So then they had to come down to see my dad. Then my dad actually did the cleansing for him. It's a ghost story time, okay? For me, it's not really ghost story. It's just my journey, because sometimes I'll feel like, my dad is such a powerful medium and Taoist master, and how he actually come about, having his ability. Sometimes I will question myself, how come I still feel like I'm at such a low level at this age. Yeah, but so for me, how it happened is that when I was around 13 to probably 15, I had really, really bad nightmares, and I always feel like it came this period of time where maybe I can try to figure out, you know, how can I, you know, decipher all these dreams. And I feel like it was really bad. It's not only because, you know, just the nightmares, but because I was just at a very bad and low phase, you know, in my school days, and I was bullied very badly and things like that. And after some time, I tried to find the meaning behind each dreams, and then I actually managed to find a pattern, you know, what these dreams mean. And to me, my dreams always come in as messages. You know, sometimes it can be for me, sometimes it's for the people around me. Yeah, and this, I feel like it went on for quite some time. And of course, people will naturally say, oh, how come you didn't talk to your dad about it? Or how come you didn't, you know, your master is literally one floor below you. You can just go down and ask him. But I just never felt like it was a natural thing for me. And one time when I tried to share with him, he just always tells me to handle it on my own. And then at one time when I was around 17 or 18, I actually bumped into my friend. She's also a medium. She's also medium, but she's also one of the people that's been doing the work, that's what we call it. And when she looked at me, she told me, hey, you've been very busy lately. Then I said, work yeah, I've been busy. She's like, no lah, you know, that kind of busy. So I said, oh, what you mean? She told me that, oh, actually, like, you know, like a normal person have all these barriers to sort with what we call block or protect them from that world, but actually you don't have any, you know. So you are like she would call it, you're like free Wi-Fi. Anyone can come in, anyone can go. So actually she then told me, you know, taught me ways, you know, how to control and things like that. So when I actually did met up with her, she actually told me that, oh, you know, you're actually doing quite good. You know, like they can see what you're doing and things like that. You know, I can see like the guides are with you. And oftentimes I always feel like I'm not doing a good job, or I feel like, what's the point? You know, I cannot see them. Like, you know, I don't have the third eye, so I don't know what to call myself. Or you are like a messenger. You're not a medium. You know, sometimes it comes, sometimes it goes. You know, I can't just, you know, activate it whenever I want. So I asked her, you know, how come, you know, it's like that. So she told me that actually the sight doesn't help you. You know, because you don't have the sight, you have other senses, right? It's actually more effective for you to, you know, understand the meaning, the messages behind it. Sometimes it's not all just spiritual or wandering ghosts. Sometimes to me, I can, you know, sense, you know, my clients, you know, my clients' ancestors, you know, that has passed, and I can, you know, hear them telling me about, you know, sometimes, oh, you know, how they feel about coming to this place, things like that. I wouldn't say I call it like a very strange thing. To me, it's just an interaction. You know, it's an interaction that I would have with any other human being that I've seen. You know, even if, like, let's say I recently had this dream that I saw a boy that actually passed. You know, I saw the grieving parents. You know, I see all the toys in his room. Then I always tell him, you know, just don't be scared. Just don't be scared, you know, just go where you're supposed to go, you know, and don't keep staying at this place. And then I just woke up. So every time I deal with all this, right, I feel like there's all this energy in my heart that I don't know what to do with it. You know, so I'll tell myself, oh, no, I'll just come to a temple, just pray, hope that, you know, he can find peace. Whatever I can do for them, I will do for them. You know, if I see a wandering spirit that actually asks me, oh, they ask me for money, things like that, I'll just keep it in mind. Next day, I'll just pray and, you know, just burn some for them. Yeah.
What did you find?
You are listening to Supernatural Confessions.